we had people in town that flew in, and they delayed their flight just so that I could have a session. And I fell asleep because my heart was so broken. And I just woke up, 13 missed calls. And that's when I realized I was like, I can't put my emotions, I can't let my emotions dictate my future.
Welcome to the Leader's Mindset, where we have illuminating conversations with impactful leaders in business and our communities. Today, we're here with Mira Duriman. She's a singer, a musician, a producer, and if that weren't enough, she's the owner of a public relations agency for creatives. Thanks for being here today, Mira.
Thank you for having me.
Who's your friend?
I forgot his name, but he's the mayor. His Majour Mira.
Well, we're gonna get into all that. Thank you for bringing your friend along as well.
Yeah.
And for all of you watching, thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit like, comment, share, and subscribe so we can get the word out about this podcast and we can bring these game-changing ideas that Mira is going to tell us about today to as many people as possible. What's the secret behind discovering your passion at a young age? You started in music as a child.
Mm-hmm.
What was that light bulb moment when you knew this was your path in life?
When I was dreaming it. When I would go to sleep and I would have dreams of me performing in front of crowds. It was almost like a self-prophecy. Like I was seeing my future in my dreams.
How old were you when you started having these dreams?
Like 3.
Yeah.
3. And I remember I have photos of me holding mics when I was younger. I've always been a performer. So I'm from the Philippines, and a lot of the shows there involve a lot of vocalists, and I would be like, Mom, I'm going to be on one of those shows one day. So I don't know, it just kind of grew into it, and I just never stopped.
How old were you when you started performing?
Like officially, where I was planning stuff out, or just
so just for fun, like up on a stage with other kids, and then officially?
I would say when I was in first grade, we had this Mother's Day special. And I remember my teacher at the time called me out in front of everyone, and she was like, you have a great voice, in front of, I think, the entire first grade.
So pretty soon after you started having those dreams of holding microphones and performing for lots of people.
Of course. Yeah, it was great. And I just kept pushing forward.
Yeah. And you've been pushing forward ever since. In fact, you pushed forward so hard, you started college at 16.
Yeah.
Which is not something most 16-year-olds do. And because most 16-year-olds, when they're in high school, they're still doing high school stuff. They're not navigating the adult world of academia. So what was the hardest part of being a 16-year-old in an adult world? And how did you adapt?
Just not understanding certain references people would say, just because everyone was already in college, and I was, like I said, I just turned 16, 15 going into 16. So they would be like, oh, just stuff I never experienced, and it was hard for me to relate. So I really just read a lot because I felt like that was the gap. And instead of me, and it's college, people don't have time to communicate a lot. So I just read and tried to see like what was the hype of whatever they were talking about, or what even they were talking about.
What kind of things were you reading?
So I'm an English major, so I read everything. But one of my favorite things was critical theory. Great.
Okay.
Great too.
Very cool. Now, you've accomplished way more in your 20s than most people do in an entire lifetime. You're 25, right? And we're going to talk about all the things you've accomplished, but what fuels your ambition? How do you keep pushing forward when things get tough?
My mom, for sure. My mom raised me, and she's just been such a strong woman in my entire life. And just seeing her as one of my main influences, and she's still going hard to this day. So if she's going hard, I have to go harder.
Yeah, it sounds like she's been a great example for you, and that probably brings a lot of pressure. I'm sure she's not trying to put pressure on you, but I'm sure it.
Oh yeah, she does. She knows she's apologized for putting pressure on me, but I'm like, okay, it's working out in the long run. So I just say thank you every time.
So with all the pressure she puts on you, and you put on yourself, and the folks you work with, put on you intentionally or unintentionally, how do you keep from burning out? And how has your approach to stress changed since you were a 16-year-old starting college to where you are now?
Um, balance. Because when I was younger, I did everything as much as I could, and I put money as my main focus for a lot of things. I always wanted to live a luxurious life and pay for things that I wanted,
Mhm.
um, and, have my own ownership of things. But now that I'm older, I'm chasing purpose. So that really just changed my perspective of spending my time wisely with all of the experience that I have got. But I'm happy I fast tracked and I did as much as I could when I was
Yeah,
younger.
and it's certainly paid off for you.
Mhm.
So what is that purpose you're finding now?
My purpose right now is just spreading innovation, and dedication and having a desire to be better than who you were yesterday. That's my
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
certainly part of our innovation community here in Las Vegas. You were at the Tech Alley event a couple of weeks ago, and you're
Yes.
always it seems like you're always looking for what's new and what's out there.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's one of my things too. I have this thing where it's like if it's even a little bit outdated, I have my own tweaks to make it better.
Yeah, like what?
Mhm. Um, Even just with like marketing and mindset,
Mhm.
a lot of people are stuck on thinking that certain things have to be done this way. And even though, uh, you know, certain procedures do work, there's other ways to make it better for sure.
Absolutely. Now, you've always been involved in a lot of different projects at the same time, your whole
Mhm.
life, but especially from the time you were about 18 to 23. And it seems like
Yeah.
you've gotten a little more focused recently, but what were all the things you were involved in during those years, and how did that lead to starting a PR agency?
Yeah. So, like you said earlier, I did start college at a really young age, and I got scouted for one of the most prestigious pageants. And it's called the Bini Bini Filipinas. And we were televised on the TFC, the Filipino channel, for around 8 to 12 months. So I was training really hard for that. And I was traveling back and forth from Vegas to California almost every weekend. It was crazy. And yeah.
Yeah, for folks who don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong about this pageant, this is like kind of on the same level as like Miss America, right?
Oh
For
yes.
for Filipinos, right? So
Huge.
it's not like a local thing. It's a big national thing.
For sure. It's international. Miss Filipina International.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So I was competing against girls from all over the globe, like Japan, um, France, Canada, Spain, a bunch of just really talented women that I'm happy that I built relationships with even to this day.
Yeah, and so you were involved in that. What else you
Mhm.
were involved in during like when most people are starting college, you're involved in a million different things. What
Oh,
else are you
yeah.
involved in?
What else did I do? I was a swim coach, a club coach actually. So I was teaching students from pre-K all the way up to pre-college, helping them with ACT and SAT work. I was a bookkeeper for college textbook. Random, super random, but it was good though. I remember I was in front of, like I used to be the ones, like, spinning the
S-
what's it?
Spinning the sign?
Yeah, I was spinning the sign on the street, I was spinning the signs. I was still modeling for sure, I was producing, I was heavy in my producing bag just because I was so into my academics that I didn't have time to be in camera all the time, but
Mhm.
whenever I did have time to just be by myself and create music, I was producing a lot, a
Yeah,
lot.
and I definitely want to
Mhm.
get into that. So how
Mhm.
did that all turn into the PR agency?
So being a producer is was really amazing for me because I got to meet a lot of talented individuals, and I started to work with a lot of labels, um, behind all the lights and everything, so I got to develop those relationships and, just have a blast without having too much pressure on my shoulders and still maintaining my focus of, having good grades
Yeah.
and, getting money and, making sure my mom is good, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you could go back and give 18-year-old Mira a piece of advice, what would it be?
Dang, at 18, I would've told her, keep going, never stop." They Yeah.
Well, you did.
Mhm. I'm happy I listened to my own advice.
Yeah. Now, especially here in Vegas, PR agencies are everywhere. Here, LA, big cities, PR agencies are everywhere. What makes Major Mira stand out? Who do you serve? What do you do differently for your clients that other PR agencies may not do?
I really get to know my clients and see why they act the way that they act, right? Because you have to understand the mechanisms of people's behaviors. And I get to really just build those relationships. And I think PR, a lot of people say that, um, I wouldn't even say that, but me, I just want to develop people into the best version of themselves
Mhm.
and just fighting, just the daily battles that we have and just being the best person.
Yeah, it definitely gets challenging.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
So, how does being a musician, your background in music, give you an edge helping your PR clients? What do most agencies not understand about creatives that you understand?
Um, Say that one more time.
What you as a musician,
Right.
how does that give you an edge helping your clients who are mostly creative types, right?
Uh-huh. 'Cause I'm fun. People wanna be around fun people. People don't wanna be life is already hard, Sometimes I like me as an entertainer, I like lightening the room. I like bringing energy.
Mhm.
I like just having a blast. Just having a blast. That's my goal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've only known you for a little bit, but
Mhm.
it's been a blast since we first met. So,
Aw, thank
so,
you. Appreciate
so
that.
awesome. So, what is as you see the other agencies that are out there, or creatives who are trying to do it on their own, trying to do their own PR, trying to do their own branding? What's the biggest branding mistake you see creatives making right now?
Gatekeeping, I think that's the biggest mistake
Yeah,
because there's so much to the world. Um, there's It's like you stop your own blessings
yeah,
when you become s closed-minded,
yeah.
right? If you can give somebody the opportunity to be better, then I would, just because I want somebody to versus me thinking, "Oh, I need to get this payment, this payment." At the end of the day, good things happen to good people.
So we don't need to keep it all for ourselves. We can spread it around a little bit, and good things will happen.
Yes, every
Yeah.
time, in ways you never expect.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a
Mhm.
lot. Okay, let's take a break from the serious questions. Let's play a game.
Okay,
You wanna
game
play a game?
time. Yes, let's do it.
All right. This game is called Rapid Response. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be a short answer, it doesn't have to be a one-word answer. Take as much time as you want, elaborate as much as you want, get into as much detail as you want, or as little, that's okay. But we wanna get to know you through some of these questions because we wanna get the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Let's do it.
All right. Mira Duriman, rapid response round. Your time begins now. Podcast recommendation.
Poor Minds. These two lovely ladies from Atlanta just being intimate and vulnerable with their thoughts. Great time. Great time.
Sounds great. An artist that has had an impact on your life.
Frank Ocean. Mysterious man, Scorpio man, just like me.
Oh, Scorpio, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous. Me too.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
Crazy, crazy world.
Yeah. Someone we should all be paying attention to.
Gerald Lacey.
I don't know who that is. Tell me who that is.
He's the visionary.
Okay. All right.
Vision.
All right. Don't answer right away. This will be an interesting one. As you are a musician and you go on stage with music all the time, what is either your pump-up song or your walk-on music?
Luxurious by Gwen Stefani.
Okay. The biggest influence in your life?
In my life?
In your life.
God.
God?
God.
Okay.
Do nothing without God.
All right. A book everyone should read.
The Vindictions of a Woman by Mary Wollstonecraft.
Okay, I haven't read that. I'll have to check that out. Your dream collaboration with another musician.
Another musician? Collaboration. I would say Pharrell.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love me some Pharrell.
He's a producer too, just like you.
I don't know. He's probably gonna make me do something I've never thought of doing before. Just push me to that creative edge.
That's kind of his thing, right? Is what's something nobody's done before? What's something you haven't done before? We're gonna do that.
Exactly. I need that.
You need that?
I need
All
that.
right. Well, Pharrell, if you're watching, I'll at your girl. Your dream vacation spot.
My dream vacation spot. I don't know why. Panama.
Panama.
Yeah.
Okay. Never been there.
Me neither.
Have to check it out. A future trend you're excited about.
Protein water.
Protein water. I don't even know what that is.
Water and your protein.
Okay.
Get 202.
It seems like if it's water and protein, it seems like that's all anybody would need.
Exactly, right? You don't even need no sugars, no nothing.
That's
You're already full.
That's very like dystopian 70s sci-fi where you just drink your protein water and
Yeah, I don't even know how that would taste like, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
All right. Keep an eye out for that. All right, last one. Your favorite sports team or player?
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. All right.
Manny Pacquiao.
Should have known.
Yeah, the Filipino.
Should have known. All right.
There we go.
Well, thanks for playing our game.
That was fun.
You're a good sport. It's nice to get to know our guests in a way that maybe the business questions and the professional questions don't answer. Did you have fun?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Good.
That was a good
I'm
one.
glad. So right now, as we talked about, you've got a ton going on, much more than just running your PR agency. Tell us about all the music and the performing you have going on right now. What are all the music things you have going on right now?
Music. Muse is up. It's out. We're active. We're live. Corporation is out. MuseStudios.com is out officially as of less than 8 hours ago. It's out now.
And that's your studio?
It's basically my lifestyle and just what I want to do, growing, scaling upwards with the music, with the team, with the sound, with the cultivation, with the overall impact of what we're going to do with the world globally.
Where can everybody find it?
World Wide Web. Just Google it or www.mustudios.com.
Yeah, we'll put it in the episode description, the show notes and all that, so you guys don't have to remember any of that. But is it just you on the label right now, or have you got other artists? What's going on with that?
I got a few people on the line, but I'm gonna wait a little bit so I can drop that info.
We'll do a follow-up. We'll do a big announcement. When you've got a big announcement, will you break it here?
Of course.
All right. I love that. You're performing. Tell us about some of the places you're performing and what you're performing.
I'm performing my songs right now, but Right now, I'm more so in my creative bag. I've been in my hermit creating right now, so
Mhm.
I can't wait for you guys. I got my sleeve
I can't wait.
up the Fenty.
I hope I'm gonna
Shout
get
out
a
Fenty.
VIP pass when that comes
I'll
along.
send you a link.
All right,
Send you a
awesome,
link.
awesome. Music is storytelling. What's the most personal song you've ever written, and what inspired it?
Mm, most personal song is called Bet on Me off of my Free Flow album. It's now out on all platforms. I just talked about the seasons, just believing in myself, even despite all the sacrifices that I've made. It was all worth it.
Yeah, well, you've certainly been through a lot, had a lot going on, so that's not surprising that that would be the song that sticks with you. Do you ever have trouble finding the inspiration to write your music? And if you do, how do you get it going again?
Um, I do, because sometimes when you're just locked inside the house all day, I have a home studio. So I just be in the house all day and I'm like, where do I derive all of this? So I usually read, or I watch movies, or I write scripts just to help envision a new story. And the thing is too, since music doesn't have to be so personal, you could always just create a story for somebody else. I talk to my friends. Maybe I could make some healing music for them, see how I could, kind of write their story into something beautiful.
So looking outward to find that inner muse.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool. What's a movie you watch to get yourself inspired?
I like body.
Oh, I don't know if I know that movie.
Weird.
I'll have to check that out.
Mhm.
Mr. Nobody.
Mhm.
All right, I'm making a note to myself that I have to go watch Mr. Nobody tonight when I get home.
That's a good one. That one,
Is it
or
scary?
um
Am I going to be like,
no, it's more conceptual.
okay,
More conceptual, or even like the butterfly effect.
okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, I love the butterfly effect.
That movie's older than you are, I think.
I think so, maybe. Yeah, they had Ashton
Maybe not
Kutcher.
quite, but it's
It's right there. It's good though. I love that movie.
yeah, it's a good movie.
Great movie.
You started out singing.
Mhm.
You were doing pageants. You were doing a little theater, a little acting, all that kind of stuff, right? Why did you start producing your own music, build a home studio, and what has sitting behind the board taught you about music and about life?
Mm. I can't wait on nobody to bring me success. I have to want to get it for myself. And when I was producing, that's when I realized. So I've been playing instruments my entire life, and my cousins were in church band. So I was going to church choir with them. I was doing church choir in high school, so I was always singing for sure. But what helped me was that it just made me appreciate other people's efforts to making the overall project come to life. Because producing is hard. Whoever said producing is easy, it's you still have to understand the technicalities of the DAWs and ear quality, how it makes feel, the industry standard, and just also creativity along with it. So
Yeah,
I respect it.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say producing is easy.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
Like I first learned about Rick Rubin a couple of years ago
Mhm.
and just became a huge fan of his as someone who like just as kind of a philosopher in life, a huge fan of Rick Rubin's. And if Rick Rubin doesn't think producing is easy, no one should think producing is easy, right?
That's very hard, very hard. I think you get the knack of it though. Some people also just get so enthralled in it, and I feel like once you just start falling in love with it rather than trying to like pick and knit all the technicalities, just do it cuz you.
Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
that's kind of what I learned from Rick Rubin, right? Is
Mhm.
he started as a teenager going to college in high school and going to college just making beats with his friends.
Mhm.
And like even today, working with some of the biggest artists in the world, he's like, guys, how much how awesome is it that we get to do this for our job, right? It's like it's hard work, but it's so much fun.
Mhm. Everything pays off.
That's awesome. All right. How is producing different than performing?
Um, there's a very big difference. Producing, you're inside. Performing, you're exerting the most energy, you're making yourself vulnerable, you're making yourself uh
You're putting yourself out there. I
yeah,
mean,
that's
like
ultimately.
it's out there in front of everyone, alone, sometimes vulnerable.
Super vulnerable. But vulnerability when you're producing is also, I think that's the similarity, just because you're alone all the time and you have to dig deeper to your inner self.
Mhm.
And some people are scared to be vulnerable with themselves. That's
Yeah.
what production.
So if you had to choose just one, studio or stage, would you rather create in the studio or perform in front of a crowd?
Ooh, oh my gosh.
I told you we want to get
Uh,
to know Mira.
I would perform in front of a crowd. It's just whatever you're doing at the studio, you just do it with more people.
Yeah.
You get the real reactions of everyone. You feel the synergy. Great. I like it.
I kind of figured that's what you were going to say.
Mhm.
So, all right, you're in the music industry. Being a leader in the music industry sometimes means pushing others to be their best. How do you get the best performances out of the artists you collaborate with
Um,
or out of yourself?
I definitely want to collaborate with more artists this year and just moving on forward, but how do I get, what was the question again?
How do you get the best performances out of the people you collaborate with or work with, whether you're performing with them, whether you're singing with them, whether you're producing them? How do
Mm,
you get the best out of them?
making sure that they're comfortable. That's my biggest thing. Making sure that they have, um, you know, create a welcoming environment when we're in the studio. No, like, that saying, like, in the club, we're all fam, like in the studio, we're all fam.
Yeah. Well, did we make you comfortable here today?
Yes.
And I should have mentioned this at the top of the show. Tell everybody where we are because you were the one who found the venue for us to do this recording tonight.
Yeah, we're at my brother's office. Shout out my big brother. I love you.
So
Love
it's
you.
a beautiful co-working space here in the southwest part of Las Vegas. Do you remember the name of it?
Nope. I think it's just called co-work, right?
I think it might just be called co-work. I will find out for everybody. I will put it
Uh-huh.
in the episode description. But thank you so much to them for hosting us tonight. We have this beautiful background and beautiful place to do this video, this interview tonight. So thank you for setting this up for us. And
Yeah.
thank you to your brother for letting us use this.
Thanks for having me. This is a great time. Great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So I feel like there aren't enough women who are leaders in the music industry. What advice do you have for young women trying to break into the business? And how can the industry do better supporting women in the music industry?
For women, never settle. Never, ever, 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 ever settle. Just because you're gonna find somebody who's gonna wanna sell you your dream, but only you can make your dream happen by working hard and being dedicated.
All right, you heard it here, ladies. Don't ever settle. So,
Ever, ever.
all right. It's not all success. We all fail sometimes, but some mistakes turn into breakthroughs. What's a failure that set you up for your biggest success?
Um, a failure. I missed a meeting. I missed a very important meeting this one day that my agent set up just for me. Because I was going through a heartbreak and I was having a hard time coping and I just fell asleep. I was fell asleep through the meeting, and we had people in town that flew in, and they delayed their flight just so that I could have a session. And I fell asleep because my heart was so broken. And I just woke up, 13 missed calls. And that's when I realized I was like, I can't put my emotions, I can't let my emotions dictate my future. Everything it's good to have discernment into what is the right timing, but also at the same time, I do have to boss up. I have to boss up and make the best decision every time.
How did you turn that around?
How did I turn that around? I just started holding myself even more accountable. I made a list of all my strengths and weaknesses, and I've been working on strengthening both.
Well, we have certainly seen a lot of your strengths since I've gotten to know you over the last couple of weeks. So, and, and speaking of which, you've already achieved so much at the age of 25.
You think?
I, I'm
I'm
telling
like,
you,
there's so much more to do.
you have
So much
achieved
more.
far. I mean, you have achieved far more than I had at the age of 25, and I'd been in the Air Force for 4 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Thanks for your service.
thank you for your
Thanks.
support. But
Thanks for your
we're
service.
not here to talk about me tonight. So, what's your big goal for 2025?
Mm, my goal for 2025, there's so many. There's so many. I want to be a role model for Filipinos, for Filipino girls that want to pursue their dreams. If that's still being in the medical field, if that's entrepreneurship, if that's music, I want them to know that anything is possible. I'm gonna show them best way, best role model ever.
I have no doubt that you will, and you're already doing it
Thank
because we
you.
see you out in the community doing all the things you're doing.
Thank you.
So what is keeping you up at night?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I barely get sleep, which is bad, you guys. You guys got to get some sleep. But what's keeping me up at night? Just wanting to get things finished.
Yeah.
Wanting to get things finished. I get so excited. I get so excited about what to do next. And I have deadlines for myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure that my deadlines get accomplished.
What's a big challenge you're facing right now that you're trying to get through?
Um,
What's a big deadline you're trying to finish?
oh, this class. I'm taking a class right now. Um, at the University of Illinois. It's my I'm taking a certificate for corporate and commercial law. Hopefully I can go back to school if timing lets me, but I always want to, be on top of my game.
It's always good to be learning.
Yes.
Some of us like learn how to make videos. You're learning the law. I mean, that's
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I have a test on Sunday.
yeah, just
Sunday.
I don't know why I picked something easy like the law, but
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, yeah, how are you managing all the things you're doing? How are you balancing all these things? We talked about balance earlier. How do you balance all these things? I mean, besides getting no sleep.
A timer. I time myself on what I have to get done within a certain time period, and if I don't get it done, I have to move on to the next thing. Then I have to find another way to um I try to get everything done within a time frame. 5 minutes ultimate.
Time management, great skill.
Mhm.
One of my favorites.
The best. Hard. It's a hard one to master. I'm trying to get better at it.
What haven't we talked about? We talked about the PR agency, we talked about the music, we talked about the producing, we talked about the pageants. What have I missed that we've talked about school, talked about going to college at 16. What have I missed?
What have I missed? I think That's pretty much it. That's a lot. That's a big list.
I told you it's a lot to do by the time
that's a big list.
it's a lot to do by the time you're 25.
Oh,
So
I have one. Trying to build a software right now, you guys. So in that process right now, talking to a lot of people, getting it out just
yeah,
to make life a lot easier.
you wanna share with us what your software is gonna do or not yet?
It's music based. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Music based.
What are you finding the challenges are? Because you're a tech person, but you're not like a software person.
Right.
What are the challenges you're facing as an entrepreneur in putting together software like that?
Market research. I feel like just because there's a lot of softwares out right now that I haven't even used, but if I want to make the best one, I'm gonna, analyze what's working the best and just making sure that other users are finding those software um, more favorable and seeing what I could bring it all together.
Yep. Have you talked to 100 potential customers yet?
Talk to a few.
Right.
I'm doing the best I can.
You know what Kurt Walker. I mean, Kurt Walker. He's not the only one. A lot of our good friends of the show always talk about. You got to go talk to 100 potential customers before you even really decide if you're gonna go forward and do it. So
I do have some people though. I have some people.
well, it's a good start. So
I would say I'm talking to people who would want to use my software, and they all seem to like it and very supportive. So
well, that's the first step. So and then you can go through and refine what that's going to look like, and then start finding your software folks to code it for you. So.
Right. I love my business model right now is looking amazing. So you just got to keep pushing forward.
That's exciting. Well, I hope I get an invite to the party when you launch that too. All right. All right. For everyone watching or listening right now, if they're sitting on an amazing creative idea but haven't started yet, what's the one thing they should do right now to get started?
Just do it. Like as soon as you think about it, you have to do it. There's no time. You can't let time waste because it's already in your head. And they say that it takes you 1,000 times to get something done. Like you think about something 1,000 times. So as soon as you think about it, just get it done.
Yeah, because otherwise you might talk yourself out of it.
Exactly.
A lot of us do that. So
bad habit.
So. Well, this has been so wonderful to have you on the show tonight.
Yes.
Where can everyone find you so that they can thank you for being with us today?
So check out majourmira.com. MajourMira. I have all my press in there. I do work with a lot of personal brands as well. And if you know me, you know me. Miu Studios just dropped last night. And check me out on all streaming platforms on Mira Mira, all capitals. So this is space, Mira. Looking Mira on Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all.
Yep. Find her on Instagram. You'll find all the rest of it from there. But we'll put all that in the show notes as well. But I can't wait to go look at what is it? Mira Muse?
Muse Studios.
Muse Studios. So I can't wait to go look at that because I haven't seen that yet.
Yes.
So.
I'm still getting a little bit, I'm still tweaking some stuff around, but I did drop it.
That's okay. Fantastic. All right. Well, I personally want to thank you for being here with us today. This has been so much fun. I want to thank all of you for watching and listening. If you found this conversation valuable, go ahead and share it with someone who can use it. Also, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots more amazing entrepreneurs and leaders coming up on the show, and you're going to want to hear all of those interviews coming up. So go out there, do great things, keep watching, keep developing your leader's mindset. Onward and upward.